To rock and roll. Can you hear me? Jay, yo, can you hear me? Let's see. Jay, can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. Let's see. We might be having some technical issues. Let's see. Yo, if you're in the comment section, can you hear me? Jay, say something. Can you hear me? All right, what's going on, Jay? Jay, can you hear me? Jay. All right, Jay. All right, we had some technical issues. We are going to give you our boxing betting show, our first inaugural. This is what we call Bet the House. So we were going to bring Jay Pilon on. I'm going to see if I can get him back on in a second. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Yo, Jay.
What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm
Jay, can you hear
back.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you, man. So
Good, good. It just
welcome
froze up or
to
went out. What's
Bet
going on?
the House. And we
Appreciate it.
have a wonderful show on deck. We are previewing the main card between Gervonta Tank Davis and Frank Martin. So we're gonna highlight the three main card fights, and hopefully we'll give you a bonus fight if we have time. We're gonna go ahead and start the show off. Jay, how we're gonna run it is basically I'll kind of run down the fights. You are the house guest, so you will give us your first prediction and your best bet, and we'll go so on and so forth from there. The very first fight of the night is going to be Carlos Adames versus Terrell Gaucher. Um, this is a fight in the middleweight division. Gaucher is coming off of a 2-year layoff, which may be a lot to ask when stepping up to face Carlos Adames. I feel like Adames is really peaking at the age of 30 and could be in his prime. As far as Terrell Gaucher, he's basically, I'm not going to say on his last leg, but, he really needs to make a statement in this fight if he wants to, secure bigger fights. So, how do you see this fight playing out and why?
So, yeah, Gosei was able to drop Zoo. I think it was 2022. So Terrell has some power, and he's he's gonna be he's gonna be facing the Dominican beast out there though. And we know that Adames really gets at it. When he gets at it, he goes for the gusto. So I'll, I'm gonna be leaning for Adames. I think that he's coming up to where it might just be his prime. He seems like he's seasoned and ready to go for it. And you know, Gosei he's been doing his thing for a little while, but I think it's gonna be like a 10, probably a 10 rounder somewhere into
Yeah,
there.
I have to agree. I like Adames in this fight. Uh, we've seen Carlos Adames come off 3 impressive victories over Julian J. Rock Williams, Juan Montiel, and Sergey Derevchenko. And he knocked out Juan Montiel and Julian Williams, J. Rock. And in that fight with J. Rock, he looked really good. Now, Gaucher, he took a loss to Tim Tszyu.
Hmm.
He won the fight against Jamonte Clark, a journeyman, and he also lost to Erickson Lubin in his last 3 fights. And like I say, he's coming off of a 2-year layoff. To me, the question is, does Carlos Adames get Terrell Gaucher out of there, or does this fight go the entire distance? I like, for the betting money, I like Carlos Adames by knockout at a plus 185. If you want to sweeten it up a little bit, take him in between rounds 7 and 12. But I think the safer bet is just by knockout in case Adames does get him out of there early. So I guess we're in agreement on this fight. We both see Carlos Adames beating Terrell Gaucher, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that nothing against Gosei, and I know he does have the power. And I know I saw an interview where he said that he was looking forward to the fight, and then he figured that he would be running up against Adames eventually. So I kind of like the sound of that, but at the same time, I think that Adames is right where he needs to be. Technically, I think, like you said, I think he's reaching that point where he could be at his peak, in his prime. So we'll definitely see that Dominican beast come out, and I think he's got his number for this one.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're rocking with that. So we'll go to the co-main event of the night, which will be for the vacant WBC light heavyweight championship of the world. We have the Mexican monster David Benavidez versus Alexander the Nail Gvozdyk. And this is fight, it's pretty similar as far as David Benavidez. I believe he's peaking at the age of 27. He had a very underrated 2023, securing victories over Caleb Plant and knocking out Demetrius Andrade. Alexander Gvozdyk is, he's coming off of a very long layoff. He's had 3 fights, I guess you could say tune-up fights, but neither one of those fights were against opponents of near the caliber of David Benavidez. I think it's a great step-up fight, being that Benavidez is moving up to 175. I think it's a good test for Benavidez because Gvozdyk is championship material. He took Beterbiev 10 rounds, even though it did not end well for Gvozdyk. Those early rounds, Gvozdyk was game. So I actually think at first I thought David Benavidez maybe win by decision, and I thought maybe to sprinkle a little money on the draw. But the more I contemplate this fight, I think I like David Benavidez with a knockout. I think I like him 7-12 knocking out Gvozdyk. How do you see this fight playing out?
Well, I think that the weight might be different. So I'm thinking that I'm going with Vazik just because of the weight program for the last few years. I understand he's got like 2 to 4 years, right, ring rust on him, on his side. But in that, the fight that you just brought up, though, he was doing well in those early rounds. In his loss, he outpoints fighters usually. He has a lot of movement. It's not as technical or as nice as the stuff that we see from Usyk or from Loma, but he's along that kind of same, same Ukrainian style. So I'm gonna pick him as the spoiler for this one, and I think that maybe he'll be able to use that weight, use that movement, and do some outpointing on Benavidez. I'm not sure. We'll see, if Benavidez can handle this weight. If Benavidez does, then we know that he's got great things at this current weight that he's stepping into. So he does pretty well. So I'm just gonna say Vosick for the spoil, and especially since I think that the betting lines would be good for this one. If you would have bet on this one, I think that you might get a come up off of it.
Yo, big shout out to the Boxing Source. I do want to give them a shout out. They are also taking Adames by stoppage, and yeah, that's how I see the Carlos Adames fight. You say Gvozdyk is a plus 450. Yeah, I mean, and he's game. Look, Gvozdyk looked great on the scales today. I saw the weigh-ins. I don't know if you guys got a chance to check it out, but Alexander Gvozdyk looks really good. He's ripped up at 75. Benavidez didn't look as good as I thought he would look on the scale. He kind of looks like the old Benavidez, where he wasn't ripped up. You saw last year those fights against Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade. Benavidez damn near had a 6-pack at 168. But that's how he normally looks. I believe he's going to be okay. I don't think he's out of shape. I just think it's just that extra weight. It's going to be a hell of a fight. But for some reason, I just think David Benavidez will be able to pressure Vostick and get him out of the fight late in the contest. I believe
Hmm.
maybe the championship rounds he gets Vostick out of there. We know Benavidez will be looking for the knockout. They got the over under set at 8.5. Do you see this fight going over 8.5, or do you see it? You got Vostick, so do you see it being a knockout, or do you see it being a decision? How do you see it playing out?
If he uses those legs, it's definitely gonna go the distance. If he can, and I don't feel like he's like a washed out fighter either. So I think that it will go the distance on this one. And it, I mean, if Benavidez gets him out of there, I would say that I would think that it would be the body work. I think Benavidez's best shot is to go for the body early and just keep that up, go from the body, and then watch for that. Try to cut off the lateral movement to try to get him out of there. But I still think that even if that takes place, you might be looking at a 10th or even late round stop. I mean, 10th would be my guess on that one. If he's Benavidez is able to handle the weight just fine, cut off that movement and get to the body, he could definitely probably be able to get him out of there by the 10th. But other than that, I see a 12 rounder.
All right, so you're taking the over 8.5, and I kind of have to agree with you. I think this fight will go over 8.5 rounds. I'm not messing with the over under, but if I had to, I think it's over 8.5. I like Benavidez. I'm teeter totter, man. I like Benavidez. I also like the draw, but I think I'm
Hmm.
gonna go Benavidez by championship round knock. I think 10 through 12, he gets him out of there. So we'll see how that plays out. Now we'll head on to the main event of the evening, which is for the WBA Lightweight Championship of the World. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank the Ghost Martin. Now, this is a very interesting fight on paper. On paper, if you take the experience from Tank out of it, it's kind of even. You got both fighters are 29 years of age. We got two southpaw fighters. Frank Martin has a 2-inch height advantage. He stands 5'8". Tank Davis is 5'6". But what stands out to me is Tank Davis has the reach advantage, even though he's 2 inches shorter, which could play a big factor in this fight. You're seeing Frank Martin, you think Tank has to work to get to Frank Martin, but Tank does not have to work to get there. He has the longer reach, which means I think Frank Martin will be there to be hit.
Mm.
Um, both fighters are undefeated. Like I said, these similarities are very, very glaring. Now, Gervonta Davis' last three fights were against Ryan Garcia, Hector Luis Garcia, and Rolly Romero. Compared to Frank Martin's last three fights, he fought Artem Artunian, Michelle Rivera, and Jackson Marinez. Now, both Tank and Frank Martin are both undefeated, so of course they won those fights. Um, you're the house guest, so I'll let you go. How do you see this main event playing out?
Adrian Broner just had his loss.
Here we go.
Wilder just had his loss. It could be the summer of upsets. So I'm gonna go with Martin over over Tank Davis. I'm picking
Ladies
that.
and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Jay Pilon is predicting Frank the Ghost Martin to defeat Gervonta Tank Davis. Uh, yeah, you got some ears open, man. You got some ears open. They want to hear why. What have you seen from Frank Martin? Is it just the way the gears playing out? What is it that
It's
has
the way the
has
year
you
has played
thinking?
out. Look, I've seen Martin fight before, and he has a lot of little shortcomings, and little issues that I have with him. But I'm thinking that his camp is going really good. It seems like it is anyway. And we've seen him in these press conferences. Obviously, we've seen him out there hyped up. This is his one shot. As you know, it's no coming back from this. I mean, he's this is where he needs to strike when the iron's hot. So I think that this is his moment to shine. And with Adrian Broner and with Wilder, I thought that it's this like this summer trajectory. So that's why I was gonna go with Martin. We'll see what happens, but Tank. I mean, he's. You saw what happened with was it they dropped Leonard Ellaby over there with Mayweather Promotions, right?
Yeah, that's big news. I think the new CEO of Mayweather Promotions is Richard Schaefer, which I think is an upgrade from Leonard Ellerby. No, this to Leonard Ellerby, but he's rolling with Tank. Hey, I'm not mad at him for that. But I think Richard Schaefer probably would be a better CEO. But uh, that could play a factor. Jay, man, if you are a betting individual and you put some money on Frank Martin along with what else we have covered, and you just touch
Yeah.
that money line and Frank Martin does it, I might be calling you to take out a loan with you. You know,
There's there are bound to be some upsets. There are bound to be something going down tomorrow night. Tomorrow night should be special. It's
I
one that
don't
all
think
of us
it'll be on this
boxing
card.
purists we've been looking forward to tomorrow night so much.
Look, I'll tell you, I don't think it'll be on this card. I think every fight could possibly be a knockout on this card. Even the prelims. Gary Antoine Russell, I kind of stayed away from that fight, but I do think he's gonna secure that victory.
Yeah,
But back
against
to this
Puello.
main event. Hold on, we got. Okay, so not to cut you off, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying against Puello, right? Gary Russell was fighting Puello,
Right.
so that's one I'm looking forward to too. Definitely
Yeah.
looking forward to. That's
Well,
gonna be a
I
heck of
think
a
Puello's
fight.
undefeated, and so is Gary Russell Jr. I mean
Hmm.
Gary Antoine Russell.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
all right, here we go. So I don't think Frank Martin has a chance in hell. He has a puncher's chance. I mean, if Tank is just having an off night and he's just completely on, and he hits Tank with the right shot, yeah. But I believe that experience, man. I looked at the weigh-in. Frank Martin looked drained. He did not. He did not look a healthy 135 to me. I wouldn't be surprised if after this fight he says he needs to move up to 140. Um, I don't know. I like Tank in this fight. The question: does Frank Martin survive the entire fight? So you see it going the distance and Frank Martin getting the decision.
Yeah. Yeah, split. It'll be
Okay, I like
if
it.
that's what goes down, I think it would be an upset. But you know what? Devin Haney had that upset too. I don't think that Tank. I don't feel like Tank is overlooking him. But with all the other distractions, I don't know. Usually these kind of distractions don't affect guys at the height and professional level of a Tank Davis. But you never know what else could be the spoiler on the sidelines that we don't know about. And it's one of those situations where it just seems like everything is falling in line for Martin to do something. So if it's there, it's there.
Let
Martin
me
has some issues though.
look.
Martin has Martin
He
has some issues.
got and the issue he got is a 135-pound tank gorilla that's gonna be standing in front of him tomorrow night. Listen, you saw in that final press conference when Tank he jumped at Frank Martin and Frank Martin flinched, right? And some people saying, oh well, he what should he have done?
Mhm.
Well, I mean, as a fighter, you kind of know this guy ain't gonna hit you. He ain't about to jeopardize his money. You don't flinch, and even if you do flinch, you don't reach with the wrong hand. If you pay attention, Tank threw a right hand. Frank went to block it with his right hand. That's a no-no in boxing. Now you still can block yourself, but he reached wrong. And I'm just saying, you flinching maybe showed Tank when I get him hurt because he's going to revert the way he knows he's going to revert the way he does instinctually once he's hurt. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tank feints that right hand and gives him a reach wrong if he gets him hurt and hits him with an overhand left and ends the show. Um, yeah, I think it's going to be Tank 7 through 12. That is I think that's my pick. I like 7 through 12. Sweet spot in this fight. Rounds 8 and 9. If you are a gambler, um,
I would
right
definitely take
now,
the gamble on this one.
look
That's
the
good.
over.
That's gonna be some big money. Gotta go. You gotta go, Martin, if you want to come up big.
If you want to go big, if you know you got a few coins, or you can just donate it to charity. You can cash out me or something with it. We got a big giveaway tomorrow night. You can get some reparations back from that. The over under for the tank fight is set at 9.5. I take it that you like the over.
Hmm.
I like uh, I like the under. I like it. I like the fight to stop in 9. I don't think it goes past 10. 10 is my cutoff for this fight. I have bets all the way up to round 12. Like I said, if you go to the community tab, you will see my parlays. I have one more big one that I am going to add probably in the morning, but I've already placed that bet. I just wanted to cover David Benavidez by knockout. I didn't have him covered. So we what we're gonna do with these 3 fights. Before we go there, we got one more fight. We got one more fight that's not on this card that I do want to cover. We got over on the zone, the main event. You got Liam Harrow versus Sabril Matias.
Mm.
How do you see this fight playing out in the 140-pound division?
A draw.
A draw. You got a draw. Hey, look, it could be. It could
That's
be.
what I got. I don't think they're gonna let either of these guys get out there with the loss on the right now. I think that the momentum for both of these guys is to fight other fighters. I don't think they want either one of these. I don't think anyone in this Matthias yet, but I think that it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be one of those surprise things that gets us because that's what I'm looking for tomorrow. That's what I'm looking for is these surprises.
Yo, you got the comment section going crazy right now.
A
They a
draw,
draw.
yes.
Okay, Picasso. Uh, yeah, I like Matias in this fight. It's gonna be how long Liam Perro can run away from him. Uh, we've seen Matias and his defense is the fact that he has no defense. He breaks you down because he's basically letting you punch on him. I think his last fight was Shohjan Ergashev, and Ergashev was an undefeated power puncher. I mean, just letting shots go on Matias, and Matias walked through every last one of them and start pounding Ergashev off, and Ergashev paused. But yeah, and Ergashev retired on a stool due to a leg injury. We know his leg wasn't really hurt. Feelings might have been hurt, but his leg wasn't hurt. Uh, I think Matias is way too much in this fight. This fight is in his home. I don't know if it's hometown, but in his home country of Puerto Rico. Uh, Liam Perro, he's fighting an uphill battle. I think Liam Perro is tough enough to get to 8. Plus, we know Matias will give away the first 2 or 3 rounds. I like Sabril Matias stopping Perro in between rounds 5 and 8. I don't see it getting past 9. If you know, I'm covering 5 through 8, and maybe I'll group 5 through 8, and then maybe sprinkle something on round number 9 individually. Other than that, this fight will not see round 10. I'm almost 100% sure, man. If it does, Lim Perro will show me something. He will be and show me something. So we will see how that plays out. Jay, let the world know what you got going on over on your YouTube channel.
If you guys want to check out my YouTube channel, I J Pilon. Let's see. I don't know where I can put the little thing over here, but yeah, J Pilon on YouTube, and I'm I got interviews, I got sports cards, boxing, hoteps. It's all over the place over there on my channel. So if you guys want to come through there and check it out, you're welcome to. And it's always a good time. So I appreciate you having me come through over here. I love some
Anytime.
boxing. I'm
So
super
what I'm
excited
gonna
for tomorrow night.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave the link to your page in the description once this video does post. Also, I do want to let everyone know that we will be live tomorrow night for the main card. I'm gonna say we're starting at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We got big giveaway. We got a big giveaway. We're giving away 2 lucky subscribers will win $100. We're giving away this authentic Tommy Hearns Everlast glove. It has been signed by Tommy Hearns. It has the hologram of authentication. We're giving away that. Let's see. We got this poster signed by James Tony. This Ali poster. We're giving that away to 1 lucky subscriber. See what else we got. We got this magazine cover. Big Book of Boxing. Signed by the Sugar Man, Sugar Ray Leonard. Oh, don't mind that. We got this Boxing Writers Association of America Hall of Fame program from when James Lights Out Tony was inducted into the Hall of Fame. It is signed by James Tony. I don't know if you guys can see that. We got certificate of authentication and everything in the back. And we are giving away this Muhammad Ali tribute. It's a hardcover. Got a lot of color pages. I don't want to open it too much. I want it to be brand new for the winner. And we got a bite fight poster with a Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. So you guys be sure to tune in to the live stream tomorrow night. We will be drawing the winners. Jay, thank you for joining us, man. We do appreciate you stopping by. We look forward to maybe doing some more work with you, collaborating on more fight nights. And, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for you on this live stream. We appreciate each and every last one of you. Any final words, Jay, for everybody watching?
Man, buckle in. Tomorrow night is going down. It's going to be an exciting night of boxing. I'm looking forward to it. I know everyone in the chat is looking forward to it. Tank versus Martin. And what a great card that's going to be because they've got so much talent packed into that undercard as well. So thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate you guys. Salute to the chat. Thank you so much, man, for having me come through. It's been a fun time.
All right. So I'm just going to shout out a few of the people in the chat. Big shout out to Boxing Voice. Of course, Jay Pilon. Big shout out to Raw Guru. I'm going to shout out Fax Ahmed. Big shout out Fax Ahmed. Cowboys Nation. Shout out to Cowboys Nation. I'm a 49er fan, but yeah, I hear you, man. We got Miss Lish. Shout out Miss Lish. Let's see if I see anybody else. Wanello, 8644. Big shout out. And Captain Reck. Captain Reck, shout out everybody who joined this live stream. That is all we have for you. We will catch up with you next week for another episode of Bet the House. Like, subscribe, protect yourself at all times. We out. Peace.